Hey, what's up guys? So today's video is going to be a bit of a ramble about my health as it stands at the moment. This video is probably going to be a bit of a long one, so make sure you get comfy, get your snacks and get a drink and let's get into it. So I kind of wanted to document this process that I'm going through with these new symptoms, and because it is still at very early days, I wanted to document it in the stages that we go through when we're getting help and treatment, and I think it might be beneficial to you guys watching as well as myself. I also kind of want to show my feelings and my thoughts about all of this. Make sure you subscribe if you aren't already so that you make sure you never miss an upload of mine. I always upload on Wednesdays and Sundays, just for reference. So if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen me moaning, I guess, about me being particularly unwell over this last week, we'll say. Saying that you feel unwell is quite open-ended and no one really knows what you mean by that, because what unwell is to someone may not be for another person. So we'll start off with my symptoms, as I've been getting new symptoms as well as my current or old symptoms being heightened, which is a bit of a pain. So I suppose the core symptoms that I've been getting for years and years now is fatigue, pain and brain fog. So this isn't technically a new one, but it's new in the past year. So since about April last year, I noticed that my vision started to go blurry. It's kind of a bit like when you've had too much to drink, you're feeling a bit tipsy and your vision starts to go slightly. You can see, but not very well. You're kind of a bit all over the place. That's probably the way that I can describe it best. So I went to the opticians in summer last year, as I do technically have to wear glasses for up close things anyway, but I didn't really see the connection between me needing my prescription changing for up close things for migraines, because that's what that was for, and my blurry vision, I suppose. So I spoke to the optician about all of these things and she said, oh well, your right eye is a bit weaker than your left eye and that's causing your migraines. And I thought, well, I already knew that because I was told that many years ago. She changed my prescription and I hoped that that would help with my blurry vision as well. So I tried that out for a couple of months and that didn't work. So my vision's been pretty blurry ever since then. However, in January this year, I've noticed that they've become a little bit more blurry than usual. I think I mentioned it in a previous video. I have what I would think is being in a flare since the end of January. It was a week after my birthday. Ever since then, not everything's been right and things have got worse, and I'm trying to like put all the patterns and the connections together. So yeah, since end of January my vision's got a touch blurrier than it was before. So that was one of my first newer symptoms, I guess, and I didn't really think anything of it at all, to be honest. And I just thought it was no big deal, this is how my life is now, which is absolutely ridiculous. So come October time-ish, I started suffering with pins and needles and numbness a lot more. It would happen every now and again, and I just thought, oh, that's a bit weird, but I just thought I was sat funny. I thought I was just needed to do exercise more, you know, all the usual things. Then it came to the weekend that Mike and I got engaged. So I think it was the night of our engagement, or it might have been the night before, I'm not 100% sure. I woke up in the middle of the night absolutely desperate for the toilet, which is not like me. As soon as I'm asleep until I wake up at whatever time and I'm ready for the day. But I thought that was a bit weird, but I was like urgent for the toilet. So I sat up, thought crap, need the toilet, let's go. And I couldn't move. Both of my legs were just numb from my hips all the way down to my feet. And when you need the toilet really desperately and you can't move, it was a bit of an issue, not gonna lie. I was physically shaking my legs to wake them up so that I could go to the toilet because I was bloody desperate. I'm a bloody champion for holding my bladder for 10 minutes while I woke my legs up, because I haven't managed to do that since, put it that way. So yeah, I woke my legs up eventually and I felt a bit like Bambi, and I thought, oh right, okay, let's hobble to the toilet. So that was done and dusted, and I thought that was a bit weird. That shouldn't have happened. As weeks were going past, like, I noticed that my leg would go dead suddenly. It would sometimes be for a couple of minutes, sometimes it would be for a bit longer, but then it would wake back up, and then it would be my arm, or it would be my finger, or I've had it in my fingertips before, and it was just very, very odd, and I just couldn't work out what was going on. Then I'd get like the pins and needles to go along with it. Sometimes my body part would go pins and needles and then dead. Sometimes it would go dead then pins and needles. Other times it would just do one or the other, and that's it. Now that I've mentioned my bladder as well, my bladder hasn't been the best either. I always assumed that I've had quite a strong bladder up until recently. It feels kind of like I'm not emptying properly, I suppose. Or I'll get a very urgent need to go and then there's nothing there. So it's like a very weird thing. That's like, I first noticed it when I needed to go to the toilet in the hotel room, and it's been like on and off since then. My bladder is one of the symptoms that I've had kind of come and go, whereas the pins and needles and the numbness, sometimes it's a bit more often and sometimes it's not, but it's always kind of there in the background. And with my vision, that's just a constant ongoing thing. So after a couple of weeks went past, we were at home, and I woke up again in the middle of the night, went to stand up, but one of my legs had gone dead this time, and I thought, oh my god, not again. You know, busted for the toilet once again, had to do my best to try and wake it up, and it was just not happening. In the end, I made it to the toilet, thank god. I was starting to think about these things in hindsight, I suppose, because I think at that point I was just getting very confused about what was actually happening to me. I'd never had anything like that before, and it was starting to worry me. So I made an appointment with the doctors, and I got fobbed off a couple of times. So yeah, I was kind of like going to the GP a couple of times, and they didn't really seem too interested in helping me, not gonna lie. Then I came across one doctor who, she was really rude to me, but she did put a referral into neurology. And then the appointment came, and it's not until this August. As I've mentioned, I've been having like an episode since the end of January, and I'm getting a bit frustrated that I have to wait so long. You know, it is frustrating, but I've just got to kind of carry on as best as I can until then. At the end of January, I started getting a couple of more symptoms. My jaw on this side was aching quite frequently, so it wouldn't be like a constant ache. It would be quite sore for 20 minutes or so, and then it would go away, but then it would come back later on, and that I thought was a bit weird. And then more recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've been struggling with my balance and like nausea and dizziness when I'm stood up, combined with my blurry eyes, my poor balance and my poor coordination. I look like I'm drunk all the time. My speech is getting slurred a lot more because my brain fog is too much at the moment because I'm not sleeping as well, and I'm a bit of a hot mess. So now that I've spoken about what's actually going on with me, I want to talk more about my fears and concerns about where this journey is going to go for me. So for starters, I'm a bit concerned about how long I have to wait and whether I'll get to August. I think it'll be like 10 months by the time the appointment comes round, and if they won't take me seriously. I think that's just my mindset for anything going into stuff like this, as I have been fobbed off so many times that I'm very pessimistic about it all. You know, not every doctor's the same, and there are loads of doctors out there who do want to help, and they all want to help you, but some of them have different views and different standpoints to others. So yeah, I am a bit concerned about getting to August and being fobbed off in a way, or not being taken seriously. My age could come into it. I'm worried about being told that it's all in my head, and you know, all the general things that I've already faced, and I don't really want to go through that again. I do want to be more upfront with them, but I don't want to come in and just act like I know what I'm talking about, and I really don't. They're the ones that I've trained all these years to get to where they are, and I'm just me. you know, I know there's something not right and I need to fight for that. I'm also quite worried about like how my health will change or progress, as I don't know what's going on with me. I'm just worried that, is it something that could be left, or is it something that being left could make worse? It's something that I'm kind of struggling to get to terms with, because it's like, I know that I have to be patient and I know this, but what if I do end up worse in the long run? Yeah, I am quite worried about battling the doctors and seeing what happens from all of this, like, and I am worried that by then will I have the energy to kind of come out the other side, because I'm exhausted. I haven't slept properly for 2 months, and I know, like, you know, people have it worse and things like that, but this is my life and it's impacting me quite heavily right now. Whenever I go to the doctors, I always like to take in a little list of symptoms and like rough ideas about how long they've been going on for. You know, some of them I don't know for certain, but I can give like rough sort of time frame. But like, I feel really awkward pulling out my list and being like, here you are, here's a whole page of A4 paper of all the things that's wrong with me. Like, it is quite intimidating to do that, and they kind of just look at it like, right, thank you for this, do you want to talk through them? And there's never enough time to talk through them all. But it does make you worry that, like, they think, have you gone on to Google and, you know, found something and just wrote down all the symptoms, or am I just plucking all these things out of thin air? For peace of mind, I like to have them all written down so that I can make sure I talk about them, because I'm such a forgetful person, and I know that if I go in there without any preparation, I probably wouldn't even say anything, and there's no wonder why I'm not getting any help. But on the flip side of that, I feel like sometimes I come in a bit too prepared. Do they just sit there and judge you for like sitting there and writing them all out? I don't know. I still do it because I know that it helps me, but like, it does make me wonder sometimes what they really think of me for doing it. At the end of the day, I know that I'm not a doctor, but I've been messed around for so long that I owe it to my body to get the right treatment. I owe it to my body to, you know, get the help that I need. I owe it to me to get the help that I need, because my life can't continue like this. Something needs to change, and I'm gonna try my best to fight for it. And I hope to bring you all along with me as best as I can. I hope you liked this video. Please smash a big thumbs up if you did. Again, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, if you want to see more from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!